Mulibwanji. Welcome back to the BeOfficial podcast. I'm your host, your guy, Popin837, and I brought my co-host, Director D, is in the house. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us, and thank you so much for the love and the support that you've been showing us over this period, and especially the last episode. You guys really watched that. Thank you so much. We are really appreciative of each and everything that you do. So make sure that you like, comment, and share, and don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. And today's topic is rather very emotional, because we're talking about emotional intelligence. So without further ado, welcome to the Uncut Conversations. Let's roll into the intro. Director D.
Yes.
What does it mean to control your attention rather than your emotions?
That's a good question. I think at the genesis of everything, I feel understanding emotional intelligence is the core foundation of every human being, and everybody needs to have a certain amount of emotional intelligence. But it's sad that not everybody has acquaintly understood how their emotions function, and of which I understand, because emotional intelligence takes work, and not everybody has it in them to dig deep into every essence of their feelings. Because it's not easy, you might bump into feelings that you don't want to express, you don't want other people to see, but the genesis of everything is understanding emotional intelligence. And I think the simplest that I would put it is emotional intelligence is sensitivity. That's why you find people that are emotionally intelligent are sensitive, and they act agently. It's because when something happens, they feel that, and they feel they need to act, but it's not only acting, is understanding what emotional response to react to, how to react to it, and anticipating what kind of emotions that they might get out of it, or the other person might get out of that. So it's often at the times that most people don't understand all of these emotions. So simply, emotional intelligence is understanding the emotions that surface, the feelings that you get to feel, understanding what all of that looks like. For example, I can say it's understanding what happiness looks like to me, what sadness looks like to me, what rage looks like to me, what anger looks like to me, what sorrow, all of that. But then it's not only understanding them, but knowing how to handle them when they surface. But many of the times you'll find people that have not understood the emotions. They do not know what to do when such feelings bottle up. That's why you find when a sense of a different emotion hits them, they react according to whatever surfaces. The example I can give is, if somebody's anxious, if you feel anxious, instead of just continuing wallowing in the emotion of anxiety, you might tend to, someone that's emotionally intelligent might tend to find a different activity that might help them get out of that anxiety situation, rather than just getting stuck in there. So it's understanding that I have this anxiety emotion, but yet how do I better myself in trying to fix this feeling that I'm having. So I think having a better understanding of what our emotions are and how to handle them is what equates to emotional intelligence. And I feel that's one of the ways that we can help control that. But then it's also understanding that as much as we might fully understand our emotions, there are times that we need to understand the thin line between understanding our emotions, feeling our emotions, and knowing what reaction requires, what kind of action needs to be taken. I'll give an example. There are certain times that we need to accept what kind of state we're in instead of trying to change everything, because sometimes we often want to change everything. Like if a state of sadness hits you, maybe for a state of a loss of a loved one, most of us cling to the thought of wanting to replace that emotion with something else. But then it's often important to just have a sense of what that feels like, because in that particular time you have a sense of sadness where you miss a loss of a loved one. So instead of just sitting down and feeling that emotion, we try to replace that with something else, and it's often times that it may not work. But it's understanding that today I feel this way, allowing yourself to feel that sadness, and I'm pretty sure sooner or later that emotion will pretty go away once you go through it. But many other times we're pressured into suppressing our emotions, and that leads to other problems when we start to tend to suppress our emotions, of which it's not right. That's why emotional intelligence is understanding that today I feel this way, and it's okay for me to feel this way, because many other times we feel every day cannot be a good day. You cannot wake up and be happy all the time. So there are certain times that you're going to be hit with different kind of emotions, but it's understanding yourself and where you are emotionally to know that it's okay for me to feel this type of way. So it's okay for me to feel sad. It's okay for me to feel unhappy at some point, or maybe not good with the performance that I did and whatnot. So emotional intelligence is understanding the emotions and knowing how to handle them, and understanding what each of the emotions mean to you. I think I can narrow it down to that. Mr. 837.
Yes, sir.
Can you give me examples of situations where trying to control emotions can lead to more pain and suffering?
That's a very, very, very good question. A very, very good question. Why it might lead to more pain and suffering, right?
Yes.
Let me put out a caution first, right? The loneliest people are the kindest. The saddest smile the brightest. The most damaged are the wisest. Another caution: listen to all your emotions, but don't blindly take orders from them. So, whatever that me and Director D spit out, right? This is like our own personal experiences, and by the end of the day, you, the viewers, are also like you have to apply them according to how you're going to feel things are going to work out for you. So let's dive deep. And so I brought some pointers for you. So the first one is: bearing grief only plants seeds of deeper sorrow. Just like Dr. D earlier alluded, when you're trying to sway away from the emotion of grief, I feel this is one of the toughest parts, because I have been through there. I've been there before. And there was a moment I was in denial, and I feel like sometimes it kind of puts you in a chokehold, where you become toxic. There's this lovely series that Director D introduced me to, All American. There's a part when Spencer lost his coach. They were very close, and that briefing moment for him, it's like he couldn't accept it. He was in denial. So what ended up happening is he ended up destroying his current relationships, because he never accepted what happened, So I best believe, trying to be in a sport where you also acknowledge the fact that, okay, this has happened to me, right? Address that there where you are, just immerse yourself in there, accept the situation, be in the moment, and see, emotional intelligence sometimes can be very tricky, so you need to be very, very alert with the emotions that you're trying to pass through, so I've seen people who have what they call delayed grief, so it just comes at the worst time when you don't expect it. Imagine everybody else has moved on, right? You now tend to now go back in time, and now it just messes you up, and you become a person that everybody doesn't recognize anymore. It's like you are resenting everybody, you're pushing yourself from everybody, you're trying to lock yourself from the world, of which that shouldn't be the case, so don't bury the grief. The other part is suppressing anger today fuels tomorrow's explosions. So when you suppress the frustration that you have, right? I'll give an example. Let's say in a relationship, right, where you have probably an argument. Yeah, there are points when you're all mad, right? It's okay to just step back for a moment and let each and everybody have their own breather. Step back. Don't come and sway away from the problem. I've seen and I've been in such situations where the other person just feels the part to say, we just move on, like nothing ever happened. It ends up being in a state where you start resenting the other person, The resentment starts growing gradually. So I feel it's very important to be in a state whereby you also, you can take a moment, or both of you take a moment, but when the time comes to speak, address the situation before you move on first. Address the situation. Whoever needs to say sorry, let them, bend the knee. Let them bend the knee and take responsibility of whatever damage they caused. I feel that way to help both individuals. So don't suppress your anger. Avoiding anxiety locks you in a smaller world. So I'm one person who has anxiety, right? I do have that. Even when doing this podcast or whatever that we're trying to do, sometimes I have that. But what helps me is being in a state where I have to breathe, I have to take in the moment, and I need to acknowledge that, okay, yes, this is happening, and I'm feeling this type of way. Because it helps me associate with people, and it helps me do the things that I need to do. Because if I pay much attention to my emotions again, right, what's going to end up happening is that, one, I might not do the things that I have to do, right? And there are those people, again, who are anxious going out. I don't like too much crowds, so if I, again, bend the knee to that emotion, it will be a state where I will be I won't be in a space where I explore things, where I have to go out more and just interact with different people, or just meet you guys and, say one or two words to each other, because I'll be locking myself out, So I don't know the introvert, extrovert, I don't know the person who's in between what they're called, So yeah, the same one. Yes, the same one. Yes. So yeah, so it's very important to be in a state whereby you acknowledge that, and you don't try to let it overtake the things that you also have to do with your life. The other part is forced positivity is a prison built by denial. What this means is that, there are moments when something happens, right? Or you're feeling some certain type of way, but again, you're just trying to be positive throughout the whole thing, Sometimes that doesn't help. It feels like you're just faking it all the way. You're trying to fake it. There's the famous notion, fake it till you make it, right? Yeah. You might say for some it works, but it's not all the time. Because there's a point when now things catch up with you, right? Because you've been faking it all along. So now things catch up with you. What happens? Everything crumbles down to the floor, because the foundation you built was built on faking it till you make it. So it's very important to just allude the situation that you're currently in and making sure that the positivity, it's okay to be positive, right? But again, being in a situation where you accept sometimes that things didn't go your way, just accept, like, it's okay. I feel like growing up in an African home, we haven't been taught that failure is also a good thing, because it teaches you certain types of things, right? It teaches you to accept and move on quickly. That I didn't do well. How can I do to improve that part, And like where you fail and you start feeling miserable because everybody's showing their success on social media and you are in a space whereby you feel like a failure. So being in a space whereby you show that, okay, cool, I failed, like the man who did the light thing, failed 1,000 times. I should be 99,999 times, and the 1,000th time he succeeded. Imagine if it was you, man. From you, I would have given up. So yeah, so those are things that you need to really pay attention to. Then the last part is pushing away pain, pulls you further from healing. So make sure, again, pay attention, right? Pay attention to the pain, pay attention to the emotion. That part helps you, right? To even be in a space whereby if you have healed genuinely, you'll tell. There was a moment when I found it very hard speaking about the death of my mother, right? If somebody if they wanted us to speak about that, I'll be a mess, because I was in a point whereby I had not yet been in a space where I have healed from everything, but I would be, because I've been holding on to those things, right? Ask myself a question: how am I going to help somebody who has gone through this phase if I myself, I haven't healed yet? So healing is very important. Heal. Director D.
Yes.
How can validating your emotions contribute to emotional strength?
Validating one's emotion, equating to emotional strength. I think the sooner you have a sense of who you are, gives you a better understanding of who you are yourself and who you want to become. So I often feel that the more we acknowledge ourselves, the more we build up the confidence. I think it's not everyone that's born confident, but the more you acknowledge how you feel, how you handle yourself, little by little kind of gives you strength. And one of the ways I think we can do that, I would highlight, is self-awareness. I think, as I earlier alluded in my previous question, self-awareness is understanding your surrounding, understanding you yourself, understanding what embodies you, how well you handle yourself, and also validating how you feel, not letting yourself suppress certain elements about you that, let's say, some people might not like, but understanding and validating all of that gives you a sense of confidence that even when you may not feel a certain way, but knowing that this is who I am and this is who I want to become, kind of builds and gives you that emotional strength that you might need, to forge ahead in life. So I feel number one is having that self-awareness. Like I said, I think in one of the previous podcasts, I feel many times we as people don't take the time to date ourselves. We are often prone to dating other people and letting other people validate who we are. But when you take the time to date yourself, trust me, you get to know yourself even better. And then when you do, you have a sense of confidence and a sense of strength in your emotional capability. But also taking the time to learn your emotions. You know what I mean? Emotional intelligence, I feel today's society is one of key characteristics as somebody needs to have, you know. So yeah, the second one I would say is resilience. The moment you don't suppress your emotions, you're building a resilience that you get to understand that this is how I work, this is how I function, and at the end of the day, that kind of gives you the strength and the acceptance to, you know, process emotions. Yeah. So resilience is one of them, and the other one I would say is self-compassion. I love this one. I'll read what it says. It says, validating your emotions encourages a compassionate attitude towards yourself. Instead of criticizing yourself for feeling a certain way, you treat your emotions with kindness and understanding. This self-compassion strengthens your emotional well-being. The world is already harsh. You know what I mean? The world that we live in is already a harsh place. And imagine if you're not kind to yourself, you know. So take a minute and be kind to yourself, you know. The way some of you are kind to other people that you just met, you know, the way some of you take so much time and pride in pleasing other people, you know, take some of that time to do that to yourself, you know. Be kind to yourself, treat yourself nice, you know. Be good to yourself. So having that self-compassion to yourself is really important. And trust me, the moment you're good to yourself, it gives you that emotional strength you need. Me and Paul laugh every time. It's funny how some people you want other people to take you out on a date when you've never been on a date yourself, you know. And you think it's normal, guys. Trust me, it is normal for you to go out on a date alone without somebody else. It is very 100% normal. And if you don't do this, I urge you right now, take a day and take yourself out. Trust me, you enjoy it, you know. It's guys, take yourself out, especially gents. Go grab you some ice cream alone without a lady. It's funny that some of you owns out there, you know, the only time you've been out on a date is with a shorty. You know what I mean? Guys, please take yourself out on a date alone without a shorty. You deserve that too. My king, you deserve that. You don't only deserve to be out with somebody. You don't only deserve to take care of yourself if you're with somebody. You don't only deserve to have good things when somebody's bought them for you, you know. Some of you are out there and you've never bought yourself something, you know. You just wait on other people to buy you something, you know. I'm out here, you know, building my Jordan's collection. Nobody's buying me this, but I'm a shoe guy and I have to treat myself nice before somebody else treats me. And trust me, the moment you learn how to treat yourself better, you set a standard for how people should treat you. Some of you complain that people treat you shitty. It's because you've never taken the time to treat yourself special, you know. So when you do the self-care, you build a platform for how people should treat you, you know. So when you treat yourself better, other people will treat yourself better. I think there's that saying that the way you treat yourself, it sets a tone for how other people should treat you. So if you take care of yourself and people see how well you take care of yourself, they'll know how to take care of you when they step up in your life, you know. So take care of yourself, and that's very important. I think lastly, I would say healthy relationships. This one I would say, when you validate your emotions, you are more likely to validate other people's emotions. And this is where this one comes in, because the level of emotional intimacy that you have with certain people is also very important. You need to have at least a close proximity of certain people that are in your inner circle that you can be vulnerable with. You know, it's not everybody that you can be vulnerable with. I think one of the things that I think I see today is how other people go on social media and be vulnerable there, and they complain when they get, you know, the harsh responses. It's because you did not understand what platform to take your emotional well-being. You know, it's like if I feel sad, I feel a certain way, I need to know that this emotional state that I'm in, I need to go and talk to somebody that I'm close with that can help me understand and help me narrate, or rather go through the emotions that I'm going through, you know. So when you have the closeness of community of maybe it can be one or two people that you talk to, you know, in your inner circle that help you understand that, they'll be there for you. But then if you don't have that, that's why you find people ranting on social media and expecting to get the help. You know what I mean? What help are you going to get from people that barely know you? They just know what you presented them with, you know? So build yourself healthy relationships that you can have a room where you're vulnerable with, and they're not going to judge you or whatever, but they're going to help you through that emotional state you're in. So understanding how to build your emotional strength, self-awareness, like I said, healthy relationships, resilience, and I think the last thing that I mentioned was self-compassion. Yeah, with this, I rest my case. Mr. 837.
Yes, sir.
What are some techniques to effectively shift your attention away from distressing emotions?
All right, beautiful, beautiful. I believe when we present a case, there should be also a solution, right? And yeah, these might seem to be like not important. Probably you're thinking of like, you know, these huge things that you need to do. But one thing I've come to learn is that it's just the simple things, man. Just the simple things, and trust me, they'll help you in when you're emotionally distressed, you know. So the first one is breathe in calmly, exhale the chaos. So make sure that in that moment you're in, just try to breathe, you know, breathe and just be in the moment and just feel the environment. Yeah. So breathe in calmly and just exhale the chaos within. The other part is anchor yourself in the now. Your senses are your lifeline. So making sure that your mind is in the present time, you know, it's in the moment. You are feeling whatever that you are feeling, you know, and making sure that you're not being swayed away, you know, to speaking ill about yourself, because sometimes we start to negatively talk ill about, you know, ourselves, you know. So it's very important to just let your senses be in the present moment and just anchor yourself straight to the land of victory, and we call that Canaan. So the other part is move your body and move your mind. Exercise, you know, exercise. I love to walk. Yeah, I love to walk, and just be in a space whereby you are not ushering yourself and giving in, you know. Feel, but again, don't be in a space whereby you let them dictate the person that you're in. Because sometimes, right, you tend to be in a cage. A week, you're just closed up, man. Nah. So it's very important. That's why you need, apart from the emotion part, right? That's why the intelligence comes in, you know? So the intelligent part comes in and tells you, brother or sis, this is not where you are supposed to be in, you know? Yes, we've cried. Now it's time we rise up and shine, you know? So that's how you find emotionally strong people. The other part is relax your muscles and release your worries. Just relax, you know, and making sure that again, you're in the present moment, so just relax. Bola ni 90. Yes. And my favorite, repeat affirmations, silence the storm within. I feel like we all are going through a lot. Everybody's going through a lot, and a lot of things are happening. So it's okay to feel things, There are moments when you're just feeling some type of way, like nothing is working out, nothing is happening, your friends are winning and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes, depression can kick in, and it's a very, very tough thing. But affirmations are very important. Talk to yourself, this too shall pass. This is just a phase. They say what goes up must come down. You can't be happy always, man. Yeah, you can't be happy always, and you can't be sad always. So the things shift, so whatever you're feeling, that's why it's very important. I say, like, embrace each and every moment. When you're winning, embrace that, achieve the milestones, whatever milestones that you're having, embrace that. When time to work hard comes, embrace that. When it's time to feel sad, it's okay, That's why when you're doing the marriage vows, they say through thick and thin, because they know it's not always that things are going to be good, There is the bad side that you're going to face, So within all those things, it's very important to just affirm yourself and make sure that you're taking good care of yourself. So, yeah.
Thank you guys for joining us today on the BeOfficial podcast. I was your co-host, Director D, with my main man, Popane27, my host. Thank you for joining us on this emotional roller coaster. It's been a lot, a learning curve. I'm an emotional well-being, so I understand what all of this feels like, but feel free to leave your comments. Let us know what you guys think, what you understand about emotional intelligence, and going through the emotions, So once more, keep showing us the love through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and my corporate people, LinkedIn. So subscribe, comment, like, share. Till next time, see you Tuesday. From me and my host, sign out.